Just, 6 months earlier, I was up at 17,600 feet, was leading our team up to Everest Base Camp, and then next thing you know, I'm getting ready to go ahead and go into the heart cath lab, and so I was in shock. I was working out twice a day in the summer, and then I went ahead and went to my doctor, and he said, hey, he actually gave me an inhaler. And so 2 months later, I quit running altogether. Went ahead and got a second opinion. He said, hey, let's go ahead and put you and give you a stress test. We can do one right at Lawrence Memorial Hospital. It'll only take about 30-40 minutes, so let's go ahead and get one scheduled, rule out your heart, and then we'll move on to your lungs. And honestly, I didn't think anything was going to come of it as far as my heart was concerned. Got dressed, went to Lawrence Memorial Hospital, and the people were absolutely terrific there in the stress test. Went ahead and struggled through the test, got done and made the mistake of asking him, how can you tell whether or not you failed or passed the test? When he looked at the sheet of paper, he went and got another person for a second opinion, and next thing you know, they brought in another cardiologist for the opinion.
The unfortunate thing about Patrick is it is more common than people might think. Patrick is the second example in several years in which here we have a 46-year-old man who mountain climbs. He looks, looking at him, he's the picture of health. Yet he has multivessel coronary artery disease, needs a coronary bypass surgery urgently. And prior to his coronary bypass surgery, he gets studies on his lungs and studies on his carotid arteries. We find out his right carotid artery is occluded. We find out that he has moderate lung disease. We later determined that happened to be asthma, which he didn't even know he had. So he was death waiting to happen.
Right after the stress test, they were able to go ahead and get me into the heart cath lab within 3 hours to go ahead and get me checked out. And then we sat down with the doctor. Actually, I was laying down with the doctor at that point, telling me what was going to be happening. And really, Dr. Dreiling at that point is absolutely terrific. He told me about the procedure, tried to very much put me at ease, walked me through every step of the procedure. And he had very much a calming effect on me as far as going into the procedure.
Patrick was brought from the stress test laboratory to this location right here, was placed on that table right there, and underwent a procedure called diagnostic angiography, which gave us not only the diagnosis, but his prognosis as it pertains to what it would be had he not had further therapy.
After the procedure, when we got done and he came out and said that I had 2 blockages at 99% and 2 other blockages at 70%, and that they were going to have to do open heart surgery on me, that's when really everything changed in my life at that point. I wanted to be strong for my wife, but I just didn't think anytime I had my picture of my daughter came into my head, it was real difficult. Coming out it's extremely humbling. I had a terrific experience with the Cardiac Rehab Center at Lawrence Memorial Hospital. They did an absolutely terrific job. But one of the things I remember is getting on the treadmill for the first time. And before I was at a 3.6 pace going up to 15 on the incline. And the very first time I got on there, I couldn't keep up at 1.5 on the treadmill with 0 incline. So you take a lot of things for granted. And the recovery process after surgery is extremely challenging. Before surgery, I could go ahead and give Emily a big hug right after school and pick her up and hug her. 3 months after surgery with my incision, I couldn't pick her up. And I remember, it was just a couple weeks ago where for the very first time I picked her up and gave her a bear hug, and she looked around the room and looked for Mommy and saw that I could go ahead and give her a full hug again. When I look in the mirror and I see the scar, it's a constant reminder of what I went through, how fortunate and how lucky I am to have found it. I really do think about the care I got at Lawrence Memorial Hospital and all the people that took care of me. But it's a constant reminder that I'm very fortunate I have a second opportunity to go ahead and still live life to the fullest. From the nurses that took care of me during the stress test, all the way to the nurses and doctors that took care of me at our heart cath lab, the genuine care and support they showed for me made me very much appreciate that we were very fortunate to have the type of care and type of hospital we do in Lawrence, Kansas. You don't really know what you have until you need it. But after the experience I had as far as working with the staff and the genuine care and concern that they placed in me, I owe them my life as far as what they did because I was a ticking time bomb.
Life, it's everything to us. And that's why saving one is one of the most powerful things we can do. Since the Cardiac Service Line first opened in August 2004, patients have been able to receive world-class cardiac care right here in Lawrence, Kansas. Hundreds of lives have been saved. But these aren't just statistics. They are everyday people that you will find in your own family. They are mothers, fathers, husbands, and wives. They are grandparents, brothers, and sisters. They represent some of the most important people in your life and deserve only the best care. Our 24/7, 365 facility has been recognized as one of the nation's best community hospitals. It's been named a Truven Health Top 100 Hospital 4 years in a row. And after nearly 10 years of providing interventional cardiology, it's time to prepare for the future needs of our growing communities. If the time comes that you or a loved one is in need, take comfort in knowing that our dedicated and committed staff is here for you. With your help, we will continue to make Lawrence Memorial Hospital the best choice for local life-saving cardiac care.